Hey, have you ever been so hyped about something that you simply couldn't sleep? Laying there, tossing and turning, counting sheep or whatever they say you do when you can't sleep. Or maybe you had way too much coffee and now your brain is buzzing more than a BS sneeze. Whatever the reason. Eventually you look at the clock and think, you know what? Forget sleep. Let's just stay up all night. That sounds like fun, right? Wrong, because today we're going to find out, can you survive without sleeping? How long could you last? What would happen to your body after 3 days without sleep? And what about 10 days? Stick with us till the end because we're going to answer these questions and many more. Just make sure to hit that like button because you already know it's free. Alright, let's jump in. First things first. Sleep isn't just the time where we rest our bodies and recharge our batteries, which you should be doing right now if you're tired. No, sleep is a vital process that helps our bodies remove toxins from the brain, file memories, reset our minds, and prepare us for a new day. We spend about 1/3 of our lives sleeping, and for good reason. Our bodies and brains need sleep to function properly. Just think of sleep as a nightly brain cleaning service. While you catch some shutai, your body does a number of essential functions that keep you healthy and alert. For example, during sleep, your body gets rid of waste products and toxins that build up in your brain throughout the day. These waste products can include things like excess water, carbon dioxide, and other waste materials that can slow down your brain function and make you feel sluggish if they build up too much. By removing these waste products, your brain is able to function more efficiently and effectively, which is why you may feel more focused and alert after a good night's sleep. Additionally, sleep helps your brain file memories from the previous day, transferring important information into long-term storage and getting rid of unnecessary or unimportant information. This process helps to clear up space in your brain for new memories and information, which is why you may feel more mentally sharp after a good night's sleep. So yeah, sleep is more than just closing your eyes and resting your head. It's a complex and essential process that helps your body and brain stay healthy and alert. Now that we understand how crucial sleep is for our overall health and well-being, let's see what happens to your body after 24 hours without sleep. So after one whole day without sleep, you might start to feel a little off. You might feel tired and irritable, but you probably wouldn't think it's too serious. You might also have trouble concentrating, but you push through it. But by the end of the second day, things start to get real. You might experience micro-hallucinations, meaning you hear or see things that aren't really there. Your mood might swing wildly from extreme highs to extreme lows. You might even start to lose track of time or have trouble remembering things. In fact, scientists have found that sleep deprivation can cause actual physical changes in the brain. One study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that sleep deprivation causes changes in the structure of the brain's gray matter, which can affect things like concentration and decision-making. Another study published in the same journal found that sleep deprivation can cause changes in the brain's white matter, which affects things like attention and working memory. But hey, you're still here, right? So let's move on to the next one. 3 days without sleep. Here's where things start to get really weird. By this point, you're probably feeling exhausted, but you may also start to feel paranoid and anxious. You might think that people are out to get you or that you're being followed. You might also start to see or hear things that aren't really there. You might also have trouble speaking or coordinating your movements. You might even start to feel like you're going crazy. All these symptoms are signs that sleep deprivation is taking a serious toll on your mental and physical health, according to the National Sleep Foundation. Symptoms like paranoia, anxiety, and psychosis can occur when you go longer than 3 days without sleep, but let's push through. You gotta keep going, right? Wrong. Actually, if you push through, you're only hurting yourself. But before we continue, let's quickly break the fourth wall for just a second. I have a question for you. Have you ever tried to stay up for more than 24 hours? If you have, how long did you last? Let us know in the comments below. Now back to the video. At this point, your brain is seriously struggling. In fact, sleep deprivation has been shown to cause a number of serious physical problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. According to a study published in the journal BMJ, people who were deprived of sleep had higher levels of inflammation in their bodies, which is a risk factor for all sorts of chronic diseases. Another study published in the journal Sleep Medicine found that sleep deprivation can cause an increase in the stress hormone cortisol, which can lead to weight gain and other metabolic problems. So yeah, not only are you not getting any sleep, but you're also putting yourself at risk for a whole host of other health problems. But you're still here, right? So let's move on to the next one. 4 days without sleep. At this point, you're basically living on caffeine and adrenaline. You might feel like you're running on pure willpower, but your body is really struggling. You might have trouble thinking clearly, making decisions, or remembering things. You might feel like you're in a zombie movie. You might also start to experience something called microsleep periods. These are moments when your brain temporarily lapses out of conscious awareness for just a few seconds. You might not even realize it's happening, but it can cause you to do strange things like talking nonsense or even driving off the road. Yo, talk about dangerous. 5 days without sleep. Your brain is really starting to show the effects of sleep deprivation at this point. In addition to the symptoms we've already mentioned, you might start to experience something called sleep paralysis. This is a temporary inability to move or speak that occurs when you're either falling asleep or waking up. It can be a really scary experience, but it usually only lasts for a few seconds. But wait, there's more. 5 days without sleep can also cause you to start seeing things that aren't really there. You might see people, animals, or objects that are not actually present. These hallucinations can be visual or auditory, and they can be very realistic. And listen closely, because I'm only going to say this once. Do not try this at home, folks. Sleep deprivation can have serious consequences for your mental and physical health. Don't push yourself to the limit just to see what will happen. 6 to 7 days without sleep. If you somehow manage to stay awake for 6 to 7 days straight, you might start to feel like you're in a movie. You might feel disoriented and confused, like you're in a dream. You might also feel like you're constantly moving through a thick fog. This feeling of mental sluggishness and confusion can make it difficult to perform everyday tasks like getting dressed or making a meal. You might also feel detached from reality. You might feel like you're observing yourself from outside your body. This can be a really unsettling feeling, and it can make it hard to connect with other people. But hey, you're still here, right? So let's keep going. 8 days without sleep. At this point, you're seriously risking your health by staying awake. You might start to experience seizures or other convulsions. You might also lapse in and out of consciousness. You might not even remember what happened during these lapses, which can be dangerous if you're driving or operating heavy machinery. Not exactly worth the risk, right? 9 days without sleep. By now, you're probably feeling like you're completely losing your mind. You might start to feel irrational and even paranoid. You might feel like people are out to get you or that you're being followed. You might also start to see or hear things that aren't really there. You might also start to lose touch with reality. You might feel like you're in a completely different world. 10 days without sleep. If you're still awake after 10 days, you're officially in uncharted territory. You might not even recognize your own face in the mirror. You might feel like a completely different person. You might also feel like you're living in a dream world. You might not be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not. You might also start to lose control of your bodily functions. You might not be able to control your bladder or bowels. This can be really embarrassing, and it can also put you at risk for infection and other health problems. Alright, so now that we've covered the potential consequences of staying awake for extended periods of time, let's take a look at the record for longest time awake. As it turns out, the record for the longest time spent awake belongs to a guy named Randy Gardner. He managed to stay awake for an incredible 11 days, 25 minutes and 22 seconds back in 1964. To put that in perspective, that's almost a full week without sleep. It's really hard to imagine how anyone could stay awake for that long. But according to Gardner himself, he didn't actually feel that bad after 10 days. In fact, he said he felt fine physically, but he was starting to get a little loopy mentally. He said he started having trouble concentrating and he started to see things that weren't really there. According to Gardner, the craziest thing he experienced during his 11-day all-nighter was that he started to think he was a football star. He said he would look at the television and see himself playing in the NFL. He said he would look at his own hand and think it was a football. But thankfully, after 11 days, he was finally able to go to sleep. In conclusion, while staying up for 24 hours might seem like a fun idea, it's important to remember that sleep is essential for our mental and physical health. Going longer than 24 hours without sleep can have serious negative consequences, including hallucinations, psychosis, and even death. So next time you're tempted to pull an all-nighter, remember that sleep is not lazy. It's literally life. So go ahead, hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.